So back to the channel after a long time, close to 4 to 5 months. So I've heard this question a lot, that if liqui moly is not available, the second best option you prefer is shell, but we have never seen you using the same. So this time I have intentionally skipped on the liqui moly and we are using the next best option, which is Helix Ultra. I have used this thing in past, but I guess from last 4 or so years I've not used it. I've constantly used liqui moly. So I'll do the service part. If you have not seen it, how to do it, I'll link a video in top right corner of the previous videos, so you can have a look how to do the process, how to carry on the process with the annual oil change. And then I'll share positive, negatives and every characteristics that I can notice with this oil after driving a decent amount, close to 300 to 400 kilometers. I've already used this thing in past, but it's been 4 years, so I want some fresh narrative, fresh observations, so that I can create a fresh perspective about how this oil performed. And just to be sure, this thing is not 50501 compatible. The max it goes to is 505, which is an older approval, so we need to keep that in mind as well. So we have driven close to 1100 kilometers after the oil change, and there are a few things that I want to tell about how this oil performs, starting from the very first thing, which is a cold start. And I felt like, although both of the oils, toptech 4100 and Shell Helix Ultra, both belongs to the same grade 5W40, but I still feel like the cold start is a little bit difficult with Helix. Somehow, maybe because of the additive package liqui moly offers or the anti-friction additives. Shell may also have anti-friction additives, but feel like the moly has a better friction additive than the Shell. So this one point definitely goes to the moly for the cold start. Second thing is noise levels. That is quite easy to judge, even for someone who's a new driver, that on moly, on toptech 4100, the engine feels much more smoother and silent, but it's not the case with Helix Ultra. Again, most probably the credit goes to the additive package. Third is, when you rev the engine till 2000 rpm, you won't feel the difference much, but after 2000 rpm in Helix, engine feels kind of restricted, not as rev happy as it was with moly. In moly, you can literally go up to 5500 rpm red range, it feels rev happy, the nature is free revving, but it's not the case with Helix. So on all those three things, moly kind of scores better than Helix. And I've always told you this, that my first preference is always toptech 4100, and then if it's not available, then the Helix Ultra. Fuel economy wise, I've not seen much of a difference. Maybe it's very negligible, so I'm not able to judge because of the driving conditions I drive in, which is most of the time city traffic and very less highway driving. So I'm not someone who can say a lot on fuel economy. And one more point to consider is that engine braking when you lift off your foot from the throttle pedal. In toptech 4100, it's reduced to such a level that you don't feel engine braking. But in Helix, you feel engine braking, yes, and that's to a normal level where it should be. Somehow, toptech has the ability to reduce that engine braking, which makes the engine feel more easygoing and more energetic. Next is evaporation. Means I can't judge evaporation in just 1100 kilometers. It will take a lot longer to judge evaporation, but as far as I've experienced with a lot of oils, synthetics usually evaporate a little bit faster than mineral oils, maybe because of the small molecular construction. And there are very high number of chances that I will drive this oil just for 5000 kilometers and change it again back to moly. A lot of people will say that that's a mere wastage of money, but that's how it works. Once you shift to that oil, driving with anything else feels like you are driving something inferior. And we have used the newer packaging of the Helix Ultra, which is the zero emissions new package, zero carbon something. So I'll link the product in the description. I get a lot of questions about which are the tools you use. I also link the tools which I use in the description, so I can at least reduce the amount of questions I have.